If you find yourself always assuming that everybody's mad at you, but you don't know for a fact it's just something that you automatically assume, like it's like a habit at this point, you're just automatically assuming everybody's always mad at you. If this is something that you do, you always assume that somebody's mad at you about something, this video is for you. We're going to learn how to start working through it. First, I want to preface, you see what you believe. So if you believe that everybody's always mad at you, then you're going to start seeing evidence of it, because your brain looks for evidence of the beliefs you have to prove them right all the time. It's constantly doing it. So you need to reprogram those thoughts to be positive. Instead, you want to look for positive evidence and say the opposite of what you believe that is not a good thought to believe. So if you think that they're mad at you, say, okay, what evidence do I have that they're not mad at me? And start looking for evidence that they're not mad at you, rather than constantly looking for the evidence that they are. Also, another one is communication. If you do this, then it means you are not good at communication, and that is absolutely something that you should work on, whether it's in therapy, whether it's doing inner work, whatever it is. Also, if you are in a relationship and you are not good at communicating, it's definitely something that you should try and work on. And if that's not something that you feel safe being able to do, then you probably shouldn't be in that relationship. But that is a fact for a different video, and I will continue on. Next, stop assuming that they're mad at you unless they have told you that they're upset with you. And again, this goes with communication. If they're not good at communication and you're always guessing around them, they probably aren't a good person to have in your life, because they are not emotionally mature. And if you can't communicate well either, it's something that you need to take a step back and learn, rather than be around people who are exactly like that, because they'll just amplify that pattern in you, and it'll make you be more in fight or flight all the time, overanalyzing everybody's actions. And a lot of the time, the backstory on this and why it happens is because of previous trauma, whether it was like childhood trauma, you had a parent or somebody you were close to who you were always walking on eggshells around, who you didn't feel like you could communicate outright with because you felt like they would get mad, or they were kind of unpredictable with their emotions. So you felt like you needed to kind of keep it to yourself, and you had to overanalyze all of the small signs to see if they were mad or not. So then you go and you do it to other people because it's so trained in your brain. And so you have to untrain your brain to do these things, and you have to distance yourself from people who are like those people that caused the problem in the first place. Because it really is a lot to do with the people that you surround yourself with. If there's people that are constantly making you do this and making you practice this, of course it's going to continue to show up, because it's something you have to do to stay safe or to feel safe, even just mentally in your brain. It really puts you in survival mode. So with that being said, see if that resonates, or see if there's something similar that happened that you can pinpoint on why you do this, because there's always a reason why we start a behavior like this. It's a learned thing, and usually it's something like that type of circumstance. But back to just anybody, not specifically people who are not good at communication, they will tell you if they're upset with you, and you're not going to have to worry about it. You're not going to have to guess. You're not going to have to do all of this detective work to think, oh, are they mad because they said this? Or are they mad because they took too long to respond? But most of the things that we're using as evidence are not evidence, and they're just simple facts that we're making something bad out of. So for me, I always used to get paranoid about everything, but so it amplified when I was worrying about if people were mad at me, because I also had abandonment issues that went along with it. So I would think that if somebody was mad at me, it meant they were going to leave me. So look more into why you feel this way. If you do inner work around it, I guarantee a lot of things are going to pop up, and it's different for everybody, but the two most common ones probably would be something like the two that I said. So to repreface, you see what you believe. So if you're looking for evidence that somebody's mad at you, you're going to find it, because at this point you're turning even the smallest little thing that didn't mean anything, that they didn't even notice they did, into something that definitely means they're mad at you. So don't assume based on small evidence. Wait for them to tell you, and if they're not the type of person that is communicating or can tell you, then that's a problem in its own, and that's something that you should consider talking to them about, or if they should be in your life, or whatever the case is, that is for you to decide. but that is just something you should think about for sure, and work on your own communication skills and find people that you feel comfortable being open and honest with. And if these people that you think that are mad at you are people who can communicate well, then you never ever have to worry about somebody being mad at you and not telling you. They're going to tell you, but sometimes they're just going to have a bad day and it's not going to have anything to do with you, and they might not even ever bring it up, and so you just would regularly assume that they were just mad at you that day. But people have other things going on, and like sometimes you have to tell yourself, like, man, like, why do I think I'm like the center of the entire world? Just because somebody's mad doesn't mean it has something to do with me. Like, don't villainize yourself. Don't villainize every situation. Somebody who is emotionally mature and has a place and should have a place in your life is not just gonna overlook when they're upset about something, not just gonna not tell you. So the right people will just tell you. So you have been conditioned to believe, you have probably been conditioned to believe that you have to just look for it. So uncondition that part of your brain through inner work, through redirecting your thoughts, even therapy, whatever works for you, even journaling. Sometimes I just like to take out my notes app and just write like a maniac, write all the things down that are going on in my brain, and then reassure myself that everything's fine and that I'm overthinking it and that there's nothing to worry about. And that if there is, I will find out and I will deal with it accordingly. So remember, just ask, don't assume, don't make every situation bad, and that goes for anything else in your life too. Don't make every situation in your life bad, but especially this one because you're watching this video. So you obviously for sure need this advice as well. And don't let paranoia get the best of you. Don't let the evidence you create be good enough to not talk to a person about something. It is okay to ask. It is okay to ask if they're mad at you. It's okay to ask, because what if you kept that in your head the whole time and you just thought they were mad at you and they never brought it up again, and so you're like, oh my god, like they were mad at me this one time, and you just keep that as a fact in your brain because that's all you knew, because you didn't think about the other alternative, that they weren't mad at you and that they were just having a bad day or whatever the case was, or they just didn't even notice they were acting like that, because they weren't acting like anything. You just made it up in your brain, and that's fine. It's fine. It happens to the best of us, all right? It's just stuff we have to work through that inner work for and limiting beliefs for. So create positive evidence instead. Look for positive evidence to make a counterclaim against your negative beliefs when you think, oh, this person's mad at me because they did this. Like, if somebody is taking too long to text back or something, what if they forgot their phone at home? What if they didn't have good service? What if they dropped their phone in the toilet or threw it out the window by accident? I don't know. Just think of all the other perspectives that aren't the worst case scenario. You don't have to go full doomsday about everything. And if somebody really is that mad at you for no reason, people come and go in our lives. It's fine. It's making room for new, better people. And look for good people who are emotionally mature and can communicate their needs very well. Because that is what we all need, especially if we struggle with that ourselves. And then that it could be somebody who will teach us it's safe to be honest and communicate our feelings and even our worries. And they're going to prove to you that those worries aren't even valid, because you'll have more evidence that it was never the case to begin with and you should have never worried about it to begin with. I'm probably going to make a video similar to this about worrying about people judging you. This inspired me. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe or comment below that you're interested in it, so I will make that video for sure. But also comment any other recommendations that you may have. Please give this video a like if it was helpful, or leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. And please subscribe if you like self-improvement content or stuff like this. I appreciate you all. Either way, thank you for watching the video. I hope this could be very helpful for you, and I hope this is going to help you on your path to healing and not always assuming the worst possible outcome, that somebody was mad at you or something, or whatever the case is. You're awesome. They're not mad at you. And if they are, and they didn't tell you, and they expect you to believe it, then that's their problem, because you're not a mind reader, and you shouldn't have to be. That should be a paid gig if so. All right? Anyway, don't be so hard on yourself. Everything's gonna be okay. You got this. You're awesome. Bye.